So far, we've covered how to narrow down your niche to establish yourself as an expert and also how to make yourself look like a premium contractor in your chosen field on your Upwork profile. Once you have these two things in place, you're ready to take Upwork by storm and get applying to jobs on the public job boards. But of course, you don't want to waste time applying to just any jobs. This lesson will show you exactly how to locate and uncover some of the highest paying and best quality jobs on Upwork. In this lesson, we are going to share with you the exact same tactics that we use to win high-dollar jobs time and time again. We'll have you climbing the Upwork ladder of success like Harrison Ford in Raiders of the Lost Ark in no time. The first step in locating high-quality jobs on Upwork is to start browsing the public job boards and see what's out there. There are a couple ways that we recommend doing this. Pull out the niche builder worksheet that we had you do in lesson 1. Because you've pretty much already completed the first step that you need in order to start finding high-paying jobs on Upwork, and you can simply refer back to that sheet for yourself here in order to get started. You want to begin by putting together a list of key job search terms that you can plug into the search bar when you're seeing what's out there on the public job boards within Upwork. This is a solid initial step in starting to whack your way through the Upwork thistles and start to make your way out of the jungle. We recommend coming up with at least 10 keywords to get started. The best way to put this list together is to start brainstorming 10 different ways for you to combine the niche-based offering that you came up with in lesson 1. For example, a WordPress developer might begin typing in WordPress, and then he might get more specific. The developer could type in WordPress mobile responsive websites. To get even more specific, he could type in WordPress mobile responsive websites for fitness professionals. Including something as generic as web development will probably yield good results as well. You just have to play around with your keyword list as things evolve until you come up with the right words that are yielding you the best results. Once you've found some jobs that look decent, you can start evaluating them. We'll get into how to do that in just a second. Another strategy that we found to be quite effective on Upwork involves throwing your keyword list out the window and simply looking at the most recent jobs posted as they populate on the job feed. The reality is, sometimes clients on Upwork have no idea how to make a solid job posting, so oftentimes you can find some gems by searching for jobs this way. Simply begin by looking at the most recent jobs posted until you find something that catches your eye, that matches your skill set, and then evaluate the job post in the way that we'll explain to you next. This is also a very effective way to look at jobs on Upwork because more so than some other platforms, the recency in which you apply to a job on Upwork is very important. The earlier you get your proposal up, the more of a chance that the client will actually be looking at it. Now that you've got some jobs lined up, let's talk about the best ways to evaluate them and the most important thing to look for on each and every posting. Be sure to pick and choose wisely. It's going to save you a ton of effort in the long run and make you much more efficient in generating income on Upwork. The first thing to take a look at is the client's profile. The fact is, you should be examining clients' profiles just as much as they are evaluating yours. Not enough contractors spend an appropriate amount of time doing this. When evaluating the client's profile, there are a few good things to look out for. Take a look at where the client is located. Objectively speaking, the highest paying jobs are generally posted from clients based in the United States, the UK, or Australia, with a few exceptions. How many jobs has this client posted on Upwork in the past? The more jobs the client has completed with other freelancers on Upwork, the more reliable the client. How much money has this client spent on Upwork? Again, the history that a client has spending money on Upwork, the better. Upwork has a section where the client can designate whether they are looking for a beginner, intermediate, or expert contractor. Generally, if the client is willing to select expert, then that's a good indication that they are looking for quality, and they are willing to pay a bit more for quality work. There are always exceptions to the rule, and we'll address those in just a second. The next thing that you need to do is evaluate the actual content of the job post. Within the job post itself, there are a few things to look out for. Generally, job posts with very short descriptions and canned requirements are going to be no good. What you want to find is a job post that contains specific information, the client's first name, name of the client's website, and a detailed description of what the client is looking for. are all good indicators of a potentially high-paying job post. Something to be aware of here is that most job posts suck. This is mainly because most companies and clients are pretty bad at creating effective job ads. This makes it challenging sometimes to filter out who is a high-quality client. And again, there are some exceptions to this rule as well, which we will discuss in just a moment. The last thing you want to consider is the timing of the job post. Be sure to check the time and the date that the client actually posted the job. Not surprisingly, looking for jobs that have been posted more recently results in a much higher win rate. We have found recency to be a very important factor in winning jobs on Upwork. Most clients want to hire someone right away. One way to help yourself out in order to make sure that you're applying to jobs as soon as possible is to leverage Upwork alerts and set saved searches. This will keep you notified when something good comes in and you are busy with something else. Although we do recommend that you check manually on a consistent basis for jobs when you do have the time. Now for the exceptions to the rule. Contrary to popular belief, we found that the initial budget a client sets in the request for bid doesn't necessarily correlate to whether the job is high paying or not. Same goes for jobs that are labeled as beginner or intermediate. While things like a high budget and expert on an initial bid request from a client can be good indicators of a high paying job, it doesn't mean that all jobs without these things aren't worth applying to. So make sure to evaluate all jobs on an individual basis and don't always rule them out based on that information. The most important thing to look at is the actual job description. If it looks good, it still might be worth applying to. Remember, posting a job listing is a pain and clients can be a little lazy. As you become more seasoned on Upwork, you'll probably hear stories of experienced freelancers applying for jobs that they think had no chance, and something that seemed like nothing turned out to be a $5,000 project. Yes, this does happen, but we wouldn't recommend counting on it. Every once in a while, you're going to apply to a job that has a crappy description and a client who has a 0 rating, and it will result in a big payoff. Just use your best judgment and use what we've taught you here as a good rule of thumb. So, are you ready to get started applying to some jobs on your own? We encourage you to head over to Upwork right now while this is fresh in your mind and have a look for some jobs that you think are good to apply to. Save them so you can go ahead and apply once you have completed the next few lessons. By now, you should definitely be feeling pretty confident about what you're looking for, and your profile should be looking awesome. You won't have to wait much longer to get cracking because the next lesson will show you exactly how to write a kick-ass initial written bid proposal that will have you winning clients like Casanova won the ladies. See you in the next lesson.